E aí, pessoal, sejam todos muito bem-vindos ao canal Arte, Poder e Fúria. Aqui quem fala com vocês é o William. Queria aí mais uma vez aí estar agradecendo aí a todos que são inscritos aqui no meu canal. Muito obrigado aí, de verdade. E hoje aí vou começar aí mais uma série aqui no canal, igual a do GTA 4. Falando em GTA 4, muito obrigado aí a todos que viram aí o vídeo, que puderam ver o vídeo, que deixaram o like, que compartilharam, que deixaram lá uma mensagem. Muito obrigado aí a todos de verdade. Então aí hoje eu vou começar aí mais uma série aí em um dos jogos que eu mais gosto, que é o NBA, o NBA 2K14. Como eu costumo dizer muito, foi o último grande NBA que saiu. Então sem perder muito tempo, eu vou deixar aí na dificuldade Pro. Vou deixar aí para 6 minutos aí cada jogo. Acho que eu vou colocar aqui não está, vou deixar para 6 minutos. Eu vou diminuir para 58 jogos e os playoffs eu vou deixar aí para 7 minutos, ok? Para 7 jogos, ok? Vou escolher aqui o time que eu torço, que é o Miami. Vou começar com o Miami. Eu não vou mexer na escalação do time. Então a escalação do time original é o LeBron, James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Ray Allen, o Beasley, Mario Chalmers, o Butcher, o Hausen, o Olden, o Cole, o Lewis, Chris Anderson, Varnado e Jay Anthony. Então, e o Jones. Não vou mexer não vou mexer aqui na escalação do time, deixar ela aqui original. Vamos jogar com essa. Bora jogar com o Miami. Beleza. Vocês podem ver aí. Deixa eu ver. O calendário, ó. O calendário ficou aí desse jeito. Washington Wizards logo de cara o primeiro jogo. Vou mostrar para vocês aí como é que é o calendário da NBA. Lembrando aí que são 58 jogos, tá? Então eu não vou mexer em muita coisa. Já vamos direto aí pro Já vamos direto aí para o Washington Wizards. Eu escolhi aqui o Miami logo de cara, acho que dá para escolher o uniforme. Vou começar aí Miami de uniforme. Vou jogar com o preto e o Washington vai jogar de vermelho. Beleza? Bora lá começar aí mais uma série. Lembrando que eu tive que tirar aí todas as músicas para não tomar aí nenhum direito autoral. Então todas as músicas do jogo não vão tocar. Beleza? Senão o YouTube vai derrubar aí o canal. Então todos os vídeos serão sem música. Eu não sei como é que vai ser na entrada de quadra, se vai ter música ou não. Se tiver música, eu tenho infelizmente aí que deixar sem o áudio. Eu vou ter que baixar aí o volume. Não tem jeito. Esqueci de tirar aí. Esqueci de tirar lá a música do som de quadra. Deixa eu ver se tá ainda. Se não tiver, pior que ainda tá. Ou não tá? Deixa eu só ver aqui. Então esse aí é o time original do Miami. Não vou mexer na escalação. Vamos com a escalação do Miami aí até o fim. Beleza? Bora lá então. Vai começar aqui a nova temporada do canal. Vamos ver no que vai dar. Tomara que dê bom. E bora lá. Bom, a bola já começou com nós. Deixa eu ver como é que lembra. Deixa eu ver se eu lembro como é que joga isso aqui ainda. Começamos bem. Começamos bem. Começamos bem. Ah, aí deu falta. Eu achei que ia estar com música, mas ainda bem que não tá com música. O rebote é nosso. Bora, LeBron. Só dá o LeBron.
Doesn't regenerate itself, you know, so long term it might be a problem because athleticism is a huge part of what John Wall is as a player. Always has been, you're right. Now here's LeBron following the miss by John Wall, and it won't fall on the short range shot from James. And the foul on Dwayne Wade. That's foul number 2 for him. A couple of back-to-back fouls for him. He's going to have to be very careful the way he's playing. Ray Allen, he's checked in for the Heat. A little over a minute gone here in the first quarter. Wall dishes to Nene. That's good. And so Wall with the assist.
Ganhando ainda, faltando aí 4 minutos para acabar o primeiro quarto.
For the Washington Wizards, they won their last contest that game against the Bobcats in Charlotte. And the thing I took away from that game was how dominant they were on the board. Well, it's impossible not to see that domination. Based on the numbers, it was really lopsided in the rebounding battle. Heads-up play on both ends there. Transition basketball, the steal and the quick push. Steve, that's how it should be played. I mean, rapid-fire basketball. Now, here is Battier. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass. Battier's got his first points of the night. Here's Wall. Here in the first quarter with about 2 minutes gone by. He feeds it to Nene. Kicks it out to Ariza. And it's wide right. It's off the rim. That's a shot that he sometimes struggles with, but you can't fault him for taking it when the defense backs off like that. You know, Heat head coach Eric Spoelstra worked his way up from the very bottom of that organization. I mean, he got his start as a video coordinator, and through years of hard work and dedication, has really become an outstanding coach. And so it looks like Washington will retain possession here. In the moment here now to see the numbers for Nene. Good season for him last year. Last season put up about 12 points a game, 6 rebounds and 3 assists. And just bringing in size like his off the bench can be a difference maker. Well, you know, to be able to keep bringing in capable big men for a strong rotation, that can wear down other teams.
Ainda estamos ganhando ainda. Um pouco de tempo. Deu falta.
Yeah, he had not established position. You know, I prefer the rest to whistle with a block when in doubt. I thought that was a good call there. The kick out to Wall. Left side, Wall. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass. Wall's got his second basket of the game. Well, they just gave him 2 points. Defensively, you're going to have to tighten things up here. That's not a good sign. Here's Bosch, and the Heat got another bucket right there. Looks like he might be on his game today, Clark. Wizards trail by 3. Torrance Burke had a chance to catch up with their coach, Randy Whitman. What do you have to say?
Of course, the conversation veered to the challenge of defending LeBron James, and he said, there's not a lot of good options with him. He can really do it all. I think you just have to try and stay in front of him, and if he gets in close, you have to bring help. And guys, we've seen LeBron really force the issue as far as getting into the lane. We'll see how they do.
And thank you for that, Doris. And you look at Trevor Ariza out of UCLA, he's a rangy defender on the perimeter. And his outside shot maybe a little streaky, but defensively, that's really his forte on that side of the floor. He gets after it, makes a lot of hustle plays.
Deixa eu jogar aqui no All-Star só pra me ver.
And Mario Chalmers gets the whistle that time. That'll be his second foul of the game. Already his second foul. He's in danger of getting into very serious foul trouble early in this game. And the Wizards are going with a whole new group out there now. And the basket by Webster. And you know, thinking about a reason, it makes sense to be selective offensively for him. I mean, he looks to be a 3-and-D guy and finish around the rim. When he tries to become an isolation scorer, I think sometimes he gets himself in trouble. Here's Oden. A stupendous finish in track. Oden's got his first points of the game. They got themselves in front with some outstanding shooting right off the bat. Yep, it's been a clinic with that end of the floor, no question. Wasted no time on that one. Good ball movement. He put that pass in the ideal spot, right where it needed to be. Near the three-point line, it's Wade. The quick look.
O Wade não entrou bem.
Wizards trail by 4. The pass to Webster. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Wizards will retain possession. Here's Harrington. And that one's good. And they've set up countless buckets off assists. That's a huge part of what they've been doing here today. A lot of dime dropping going on out there, Steve. Now here's Wade. Excellent D there from Porter.
O Wade realmente não tá bem na partida.
I mean, it's not an easy task stopping that fella when he's headed to the bucket like that. Good job. Anal. Kicks it to Harrington. Pass to Webster. The dish to Seraphin. Feeds to Harrington. He kicks it to Seraphin. And he hits it to tie the game up.
Empataram o jogo, empataram o jogo.
Part of their offense in the early stages. I mean, their success working the ball inside and getting points from close range right at the rim. And I would continue to do it. You know, force the defense to maybe send a double team. Now you've got other options to work with offensively. And that concludes a high-scoring first quarter with both teams tied up. We'll get things started in the second.
Empatado aí o jogo, 19-19.
NBA season blasts off. Dallas Mavericks take on LeBron James and the Miami Heat next Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm just so impressed with the long-range shooting. They have really lit it up from outside. Yeah, the sharp shooting from deep, a big part of their lead, and they're playing with confidence and shooting it well. And now, brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset our lineups. Taking a look at the Wizards. Bradley Beal and Otto Porter Jr. on the wing. Chris Singleton is out there with Trevor Booker. And it's Maynard in at the one. A nice shot by Booker. You know, that putback's about as easy as it's going to get. You have to put a body on someone down there. Well, no box out, that's the result you get right there. And he gets contact and the whistle on the shot. 2 shots coming up. Talking about Chris Anderson, guys, the Birdman. We weren't sure if he was going to be able to fly last season, but he did latch on with a very good Miami Heat team who was in need of some help rebounding, which is his strength. He still can do that and block shots as well. Trevor Ariza's checked in for the Wizards. Wall comes in for Eric Maynard. It's Wall with the drive. He goes up again. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. And a look here at the Wizards, how they ranked in the NBA last season. 5th in opponent field goal percentage. 8th in opponent points per game. And they were in the top 10 in grabbing rebounds as well. That's not too shabby. The top 10 on the glass, I'll take that. Well, there's 30 teams in the NBA, obviously, so if you're in the top 5 in opponents' field goal percentage, you know you've done a pretty good job defensively. And to me, that's the identity of this club. They get after you defensively. They make every
Talk about putting something extra on it. That dunk is way over the top.
Close game or not, Clark, he's going to finish firm when he gets the space.
Still, it's startling that he'd even try that right now.
Partamos o jogo.
Said that he was at his peak as a player, both physically and spiritually. You could see it in his eyes, just so confident. Even when things aren't going well, he now has the fortitude to make his way through that and continue to play and finish the game.
Let's go down to the sideline and catch up with Doris Burke. Hey, Doris.
Well, Dwayne Wade, maybe more so than LeBron and Chris Bosh, has had to make sacrifices in his role when they assembled the Big Three in Miami. Wade said, quote, "If I was a selfish guy, it never would have worked. Myself and LeBron both being alphas. But you can only play this game for so long. And when you leave this game, what memories do you want to have? I want to have memories of success as a team. And it's not easy. It's hard. But the only thing I need to prove to myself is that I can be a part of a winning team. Guys, that's what it's all about."
Well, they've got it right, Doris. When you win, all the accolades take care of themselves. Well, when you think about the level that LeBron is playing at right now, Clark, do you think he still has room to improve his game?
I think it's just a matter of his experience and picking and choosing his spots. I think his skill set is fantastic, and it's just a matter of staying the course. I don't see much improvement there. He's a terrific shooter from the 3 and inside the line. He drives it, makes his free throws, passes the ball, rebounds, defends. He wants to be in that 50, 40, 90 club on his shooting percentages, and I think he'll make it happen.
I know he's still working with Ray Allen on the free throw shooting.
Yeah.
Here's what Washington's going with right now. Emeka Okafor is checked in for Trevor Booker, and it's Nene in for Singleton. Dishes to Ariza, and he wheels that one in, sinking right through off the back iron.
You know, it's really hard not to notice the difference in the passing of these two teams today.
Yeah, look at the discrepancy in the assist column between these two teams.
Here's LeBron. The 18-footer is right on the mark. James has got 7 now in this quarter.
You know, he started out hot, and he's only gotten hotter. He could be in for one of those games.
And Ray Allen gets the whistle. That is his first foul of the game. Ball against Chalmers, and it's out of bounds. The Heat will take it the other way.
A chance to check out some of the stats on Mario Chalmers, how he performed last season. Averaged about 8 points a game, 3 assists and 2 rebounds. And the numbers might not reflect it, but the effort's really been there for him. He's going to get rewarded soon enough if he keeps getting after it like he has been.
Yeah, I agree with that, Steve. He's been unlucky not to have filled up the stat sheet more because his play has really been solid.
Wizards have gone 3 of their first 5 shots to drop here in the second quarter.
Points in the paint for the Wizards, really a problem area last season. Even with their revamped front court, it was not easy for them to finish at the rim. Maybe a full year of having John Wall healthy will help that because he creates easy scoring opportunities.
As for the Wizards, as you say, Clark, they ended up being the second worst team in the NBA when it came to points in the paint. But they just couldn't get much going from their bigs down low, Steve.
Some of that was the injury to John Wall early because he's the one who has to set the table for those guys. But look, this is a team that has made some improvements. They're gaining some momentum. They've got some good young talent. I think that area, the points in the paint, is going to improve as this season goes on.
Here's James.
Já tá cansado, já tá cansado.
And the whistle blows. He decides to foul intentionally for some reason.
I'm not sure why you would foul right there. And that's obviously not the smart thing to do. So it's a mistake there.
And that one falls for Wall.
For most of the start of the Wizards' 2012-13 campaign, the question was, when is John Wall going to return? Well, the answer ended when he came back in January and quickly made his presence felt on that team.
Lets it go from the wing. And again, it's the Heat missing.
Yeah, it is very dangerous to leave him open like that. Lucky break for the defense that he missed it.
And Shinbadia gets the whistle. That's his first foul of the game. And the bonus will go to the free throw line. what a huge difference for the Wizards record-wise once John Wall returned to the season club. The record 5-28 with him out, and then with him playing 24 and 25.
Yeah, that's the first record on pace for 12 wins. That would have been the worst in the league by far. The second record is on pace for 40 wins, which in the East would have put them in the mix for the second spot. So a huge difference there.
Wizards leading by 4. Tries it from the top of the key. They get it back. Oden with the block, and he's able to get it back. Wade with it. He hands it with authority.
Solid on the one hand throw that net.
You know, Clark, when it's a tight ball game like this, he's the guy they want with the ball.
Yeah, you got that right, Kevin. He's such a reliable finisher.
Pass to Webster. Wide open look. And that comes off the assist by John Wall. Wall's got his 4th assist in this one. The Heat trail by 4. Wade kicks to Cole. Back to Wade. Shoots. Easily outside. Good ball movement here by Miami. Moves back up. Wade can't hit.
Well, he hasn't had much success shooting the ball, but it's not too late for him to get it turned around and start contributing.
Easily outside. And there's the feet to Wade. Puts up a 3, and the Heat another 3.
He's finally starting to get it going here offensively.
The Wizards have gone 5 of 11 from the field since the beginning of the second quarter. And Norris Cole is going to pick up the foul. So that will be his second foul of the game. We're in the bonus. We'll go to the line to shoot 2. The Wizards have shot 9 of 11 at the free throw line.
Well, how about John Wall in this one? He's got 13 points, and with 7 points coming from the free throw line, that's some good work.
It really is. I mean, he's going to have some bruises to show for it because he's been knocked around a little bit. But you got to love the aggressiveness.
Al Harrington is back after missing all but a handful of games last season. The summer prior, after a knee surgery, he suffered a staph infection in his knee, and that had to be frustrating for him.
Eric Maynor, he's checked in for John Wall. And it's Otto Porter with the foul. That is his first foul of the game. Trevor Booker, he's checked in now for Al Harrington. And stolen by Maynard. And finished off by Porter.
Well, that's why they're on the lead. Aggressive play at both ends. Very nicely done there.
Absolutely. They made the steal pay dividends instantly in the open floor.
And here's Chalmers from the arc. Rebound by Webster.
Not able to find him here in the second. He's off stride and off track just a bit after that one he had earlier.
And here's Chalmers for 3. And released it in time, but it's off the mark. And we're through 2 here in a good one. Wizards lead by 5. And now let's catch up with Doris Burke, who's standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Kevin, I've got Coach Eric Spoelstra here with me. And, Coach, what are the things you're seeing so far in this game that you'd like to change going forward?
It starts with getting some stops. You got to play out some misses. And we can't let them force us into 1 or 0 pass possessions. We've got to move the ball on the half court, help each other with that. But we'd like to get some more in the open.
Eric, thank you so much. Kevin, back to you.
All right, Doris, thank you. And folks, stay right where you are for the halftime show. Then we'll be back for the start of the second half of the third quarter.
And now, brought to you by Sprint. We're in the early stages of what promises to be another great season in the NBA. The Wizards doing well so far. They're facing a team with a lot of talent, but haven't backed down. John Wall scoring with ease against the Heat defense. 13 points, and as usual, he's been handing out a lot of assists. And a tough matchup, but the Heat staying afloat. They've been dialed in from long range. You can't leave them open outside. Shooting is what they do best. The first half, a productive one for LeBron. He has 13 points, and look at the work he's been putting on the floor. In terms of field goal percentage, he is taking quality shot after quality shot. And a look now at some games that have yet to tip off. The Hawks playing out at Phillips Arena as they go up against the Cavaliers. Some Eastern teams doing battle. That gets going 7:30 Eastern. And one game also on the docket. It's the Mavericks against the Magic in Orlando. That one tips off at 7 p.m. Eastern. And a look here at the other NBA action. It'll be the Knicks out in New York against the 76ers. Divisional games, always a heated affair. A 7:30 Eastern tip time. And that's all we have for you here in the studio. Now let's send it on back to Kevin Harlan, Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke for the second half of play.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint. And as we return to action, a breathtaking view over the shores of Miami. An exceptional performance from John Wall.
Yeah, the magic touch with the ball. He just made great decisions, piling up the assist there in the first half. Really doing a nice job.
To be on the receiving end of the pass, but so far it's been the other way around here. The Heat have magnificent talent, but even coming off an NBA title, they had never put their name into the conversation of the great team until last spring when they went on that amazing 27-game winning streak.
Chalmers and D. Wade are the guards. Chris Bosh is out there with Shane Battier, and it's LeBron in at the 3 spot. That's the group on the floor for Miami. Wall attacking. No good. Some solid defense for Battier. And for the Heat, they were staring right at the 72 Lakers win record, and I'm sure everyone remembers, but ultimately they would fall Steve the Bulls after 27 consecutive wins.
Yeah, that streak to me was one of the great feats in NBA history. Winning 27 games in a row in the regular season, so difficult, but it showed you what the Heat were made of. They really were battling every night, and I thought that put them on a great run heading into the playoffs.
The Heat trail by 9. Wade gets to Battier. Wade outside. Looking to end his cold spell. Connects, the temper drops. Wade's got 10 points in the game.
You know, he'll make you scratch your head and throw your hands up as a defender. I mean, you just don't know how to play.
And stolen by Chalmers. Okay, well, let's check in with Doris Burke reporting from our sideline in this game. Doris, take it away.
Well, gentlemen, head coach Eric Spoelstra of the Miami Heat finally getting the respect he deserves now with their multiple championships. But his players, not afraid to rib him a little. Dwayne Wade said Spoelstra's favorite word? Focus. He said, here's what it sounds like to play for my coach. Come on, guys, we have to focus. Next game. Come on, guys, it's about focus. Maybe 2. Guys, it's about focus. Kevin, it's all about that consistent message, right?
Steady hand, Doris. The players seem to really appreciate it.
And he continues to search for his rhythm. It's eluded him to this point.
James misses.
This game has been very close in a lot of areas, but rebounding is one thing that they've been able to dominate.
Yeah, they chased down that pumpkin often.
Ahead, deflects the pass. Bosh kicks to LeBron. Okafor against Bosh.
The offense just getting right to the rim, but at least they saved the layup with the foul.
That's old school basketball rules. I mean, at the end of the day, no easy layup. Earn it from the line.
He's getting his first free throw attempt of the night right now.
And he was up over the 80% mark from the free throw line last year. He was pretty happy with those numbers.
You know, Miami went to that smaller lineup last season, and a big change in that was having Chris Bosh move over to the 5 spot. Not his natural position, but I thought he held his own both offensively and defensively playing in the middle. Not much the defense can do once he gets to the bucket.
And Miami calls their first time out of the game. And for Bosh, playing the center, Steve, he's giving up some weight out there.
But he's a very smart defender. He avoids fouls, and you know the way the league is these days, Kevin, most teams play smaller, and Bosh can normally find a center that he can guard without too much trouble. But there are a few matchups around the league that are a problem.
Well, they got the speed and the pressure of that Miami defense. You think they're able to compensate for any lack of size inside by using those other things.
Yeah, that's normally the case against, I would say, the vast majority of the league.
Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
Thanks, guys. I got a chance to hear what Eric Spoelstra was saying to his team. He said their offense has been a little too sluggish for his liking, saying, quote, take what the defense gives you. Don't hesitate to let those shots fly. He also implored them to win the battle on the defensive backboards. That's crucial, he said. Rebound like your heart depends on it. Those are likely not the last adjustments they make today, guys. There's still time left in this one. Back to you, Kevin.
Great. Thanks for the report, Doris. Cool. And a miss there on the triple. Got a piece of it. Washington leading now by 5. And Beal kicks to Harrington. Fires the 3. And yes, sir, that one drops. Harrington's got 6. Well, the grimace of pain tells it all. He's hurt, and let's hope he's okay.
It's so tough to see a player go down with an injury like this. Well, it really is, Steve. It's just one of those things, though. You've seen it happen before as well. And you can tell, whatever it is painful for him.
The Heat making a switch here. Wade's checked in. The high post shot. Miami no good on that time either.
His touch has disappeared on him this quarter. He just hasn't been able to get it going. You know, part of being a championship team is having the talent first and foremost, but then managing the minutes of that talent. The Heat, I thought, did a nice job monitoring the minutes of the big 3 throughout the season and playoffs last year.
Wall passes to Nene. That's good. And so Wall with the assist. Wall's got 5 assists in the game.
The easiest way to do it sometimes is with the bounce back.
There it goes. It's in. The Wizards lead is cut down now to just 6 in the basket from Wade. As you said, Clark, the big 3 in their prime, but really, you want them to just get their work in during the season, not exhaust themselves before they make it to the playoffs.
I thought, Kevin, along those lines, I thought by the end of last season, Miami was exhausted. And once you try to win a 3rd title in a row, the emotional fatigue and exhaustion really becomes a factor. So this is going to be interesting to watch all year.
Tries a 3. It's Wade again missing.
Well, eventually he'll start knocking those down again. He did make 2 in the first half.
Time now for an injury report.
Guys, I got an update from head athletic trainer of the Heat. He told me that it doesn't look too serious. You would hope that an injury like this one, coming so early on in the season, won't linger and bother him the rest of the way.
All right, Doris, really appreciate you finding out how he's doing.
Yeah, let's keep our fingers crossed and hope he's back out on the court soon. Rehabbing is a tough process, Steve, and with any luck for him, it'll be a short one. If you battle for the offensive rebound and come up with it, you're guaranteed a high-quality shot and a follow just like he got there.
And the foul on Dwayne Wade. That's his 3rd foul of the game. And a new group getting ready for the Wizards. Kevin Serafin, he's checked in for Nene. Trevor Booker comes in for Al Harrington. Porter's checked in for Trevor Ariza. And it's Webster in for Bradley Beal.
A chance to check out some of the stats on Mario Chalmers. Last season's stats for him, 17th in 3-point field goal percentage. And he was also among the league leaders in steals, finishing in the top 20 in that category. And Steve, how about the 3-point shooting? I mean, he was one of the 20 best in the league, as you said earlier. I mean, this guy was really reliable from long range. A real weapon back there for him.
And some stats here, guys. The scoring breakdown for the Wizards.
Well, guys, I really like how they've driven the ball to the basket in this game. I mean, they've been very aggressive with it. And I'll tell you, the other thing that's been a factor is the transition game. They're scoring a lot of points on the fast break.
It's good, and the Washington lead is cut to just 5 points on the basket from Lewis.
You know, with the time left, they can trade 2 for 1 here if they hurry.
Porter against James. Lets it go. Here's Booker. Out of bounds. Wizards ball as Washington keeps possession. Wizards making a switch here. Singleton's checked in. And stolen by James.
Probably use a little clock here. Yep, make this the very last possession. That's not an opportunity he fails to convert very often.
Singleton dishes to Porter. And Wall kicks to Porter. Nails the wide open jump shot. Porter's got his 2nd bucket of the night.
He's been key for this team's offense the way he's distributed the ball. Yeah, you know, the offense is just moving through him, Steve. No doubt.
And that's out of bounds. Miami will retain possession. The three from LeBron. No good on that last second attempt there. Shots continuing to fall as we conclude the third quarter. Both teams putting up points. Wizards out front.
Play, don't you think, Kevin? Sure, this is just a phenomenal pass. Made the defense look like they had no idea what was going on.
What precision with that pass.
Beautiful.
Fourth quarter on the court for the Wizards. Ball and Beal together in the backcourt. Trevor Booker is out there at point. And it's Okafor in at the 5 spot. First free throw is good.
You know, if you just look at the numbers without knowing who Dwayne Wade was, you'd think he was probably 6'7" or 6'8", but the way he blocks shots and rebounds, even at 6'4", he just plays much bigger than he really is.
Wall attacking. Backed in off the glass. Wall's got 20.
Took advantage of some shoddy defense there. They've got to at least get a finger on it.
James, the pass to Willard. And he makes it look easy, taking it hard with one hand.
Tell you what, I'd love to see him get a lot more of those opportunities.
I'll bet Jefferson to go away quickly if he does.
Yeah, I like the way he caps that drive off, guys, with the one-hand punch.
And you go back, Clark, to that big man game for Wade, averaging about a block shot a game for his career.
Well, you think about it, he's 6'5", but he actually has a 6'11" wingspan, and you're not going to find a stronger guy at the shooting guard position. He's over 220 pounds, and there's nothing extra there, so he brings a lot to the table.
Nene, he's checked in for Washington. Trevor Ariza's checked in for Washington. Nene with it, and Bosch picks him up defensively, and the basket is good. Got it to go through on the contact, so a free throw coming up. Great opportunity for a three-point play. Showman, and so he's picked up his final foul, and he will sit for the rest of this game. Allen's checked in for Mario Chalmers.
A tough year for the Wizards, and it didn't get any easier for them when they played against the rest of the Southeast Division. I mean, there are tough teams atop that division, and it makes it hard to get any wins, and the Wizards ended up 5-11 against the rest of the division.
Ball gets a screen from Nene, and it's blocked by Bosch. Out of bounds, Wizards ball as Washington keeps possession. Chance now to check out the Washington Wizards' upcoming schedule. They'll be hosting Orlando for the next one. That game is the first and last of their homestand. Fourth quarter now, we're about a minute and a half in. And going back to the Wizards in the Southeast, really the goal for them is to just be competitive within the division. And it's a tough division to win to begin with.
Well, yeah, mainly because of Miami. Only because of Miami, really. The other teams, Orlando, Charlotte, and Atlanta, I mean, Washington, there's no doubt, can compete against these teams and maybe even finish second in the division this season.
Wizards leading by 5. Wall attacking. That's good. Wall's got 11 in the second half.
Well, as athletic as the players are in this league, Kevin, John Wall, I think, is one of the best. And he's so strong for a guy that size. Blazing speed, incredible quickness. So he can blow by defenders and get right into the lane.
Steve, it's almost unfair to see how easily he makes the most of his athleticism, isn't it? My goodness. I mean, not only can he run for days, but he looks like a cat out there the way he's able to twist and turn through traffic. That makes it 10 of their last 12 points coming from inside the painted area.
Yep, that's something that the defense has to put a stop to. Maybe a defensive adjustment is necessary here.
And the Heat all-time hit.
You know, one of the things you look at in winning basketball games in the NBA is getting to the free throw line. You always want to be able to do that. And they knows how to get there, but he's never really been able to make the most of it because he's not a good foul shooter.
Catching up on the changes with Miami. Greg Oden, he's checked in for Bosch. Haslam comes in for Dwayne Wade. And it's Beasley in for Ray Allen. And now Doris Burke has an update from the sidelines.
Well, guys, I was able to listen in on what Eric Spoelstra was going over with his team in that last huddle. He got after them and told them to turn up the intensity, saying, we put ourselves in a corner, and now we've got to fight our way out. Show me what you have. Let's see if we've got what it takes, guys.
The Heat trail by 13. And Clark, you mentioned the foul shooting for Nene for his career, right about 68% from the charity stripe, Steve. Nothing that it's not horrible. It would be great if we can improve it.
Well, he did improve a little bit last year, got to 73%. So let's see if he can continue that trend and become a more consistent shooter from the line.
Ariza with the bucket. Ariza's got 4 points in the quarter.
Boy, I tell you what, nice little run here they're going on. Now, the story is points in the paint, Clark. I mean, they're getting point-blank shots every time down.
Offensive rebound.
It's a +5 advantage for them in the rebounding category after that board. Very steady work they've been doing on the interior, no question. And that's, I think, the main reason they have this lead.
Back to Nene. That's good. And the Wizards lead by 17.
They get 10 of their last 12 points coming off assists. Wow, they moving the ball right now. They look good.
Now a timeout called by Miami.
Getting road wins was one of the biggest struggles for the Wizards last season. Started out slow, and even after Wall came back from injury, they still weren't exactly taking care of business on the road.
Catching up on the changes with Miami. Chris Anderson is checked in for Odin. Lewis comes in for Udonis Haslem. And Allen subbed in for Shane Batty. Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Thank you, guys. I got a chance to hear what Randy Whitman was saying to the team. He preached patient offense and using more of the shot clock. He'd like the tempo of this game to be taken down a few notches. His other point of emphasis was their interior defense, which he insisted they concentrate on. Keep the ball out of the paint, he said. Don't give them anything from close range. So Coach waiting until the final stages to pull a few tricks out of his sleeve. Kevin, let's see if he's made a wise decision.
All right, Doris.
Well, that puts the nail in the coffin. A clinic in terms of how to play with the lead right there.
Well, Clark, back to the Wizards on the road. You mentioned their slow start, but just to illustrate how bad it was for them, it wasn't until mid-December that they got their first road win. Steve, they lost their first 8 to start the year away from Washington.
That was a shame, too, because that start kind of took them out of playoff consideration. You know, and they ended up playing really well down the stretch. But, you know, at the end of the season, they were actually okay on the road, and they were pretty competitive, in fact.
Down to 5 on the shot clock. Wall, that's good.
And we head to the final buzzer in a crushing blowout. Big-time dominance. This will go in the books as a really gaudy win for Washington.
You're right, Steve. It was a standout performance across the board. They were just, at times, some toying with it.
Yeah, like watching a cat play with a mouse, Kevin. Quite honestly, they were able to do more or less, whatever they wanted to do.
And so with this, they'll end up with their second win on the year.
You look at the stats, and you'll see just how dominant a game this was for John Wall. And a big part of their success was his ability to keep the ball moving and finding guys when they would flash open.
And the Wizards are going with a whole new group out there now. There's 37 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And he knocks down the first one.
Well, Miami stormed through the regular season and were viewed as the clear-cut favorites to come out of the East, but it was not as easy as expected. After sweeping Milwaukee, the Bulls gave them a scare, then the Pacers really took them deep, all the way to Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals.
29 seconds left to play here in the fourth. Maynard dishes to Seraphin. The basket good off the assist from Maynard.
They didn't take their time wrapping this game up. They pretty much did it in a hurry. Yeah, they had a nice spurt to polish this one off.
Lewis, right side. Beasley for 3. Here's James, and the shot is good.
That's where you like to get shots, inside and close to the hoop.
Here's Maynard. so it's Washington easily grabbing this one. They put on a show tonight, thoroughly controlling each end of the floor.
Hey, what more can you ask?
And time now to go courtside as we send you over to Doris Burke from the sideline. Doris?
Yes, I'm here with Bradley Beal following a confident win. How does it feel to play with such great offensive flow as a team like you did tonight, Bradley?
That's the most fun we had all year. By far. When the ball is moving on offense, we play great team defense and getting out on the break and scoring. And when you score that many points, it's always fun.
Bradley, thank you for the time. Guys, back to you.
All right, Doris, thank you. And for Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for tuning in to the NBA on 2K Sports. Now, our Jordan player of the game, John Wall.
Pessoal, começamos mal aí a temporada. Começamos mal aí a temporada. Espero que vocês tenham gostado desse vídeo aí hoje diferente aí. E voltamos aí em breve aí com mais vídeos aí da NBA. Vamos ter que arrumar aí algumas coisas aí no menu do jogo. Beleza? E é isso, né? Vamos ter que melhorar bastante coisa aí no time. Vamos ter que melhorar muita coisa aí no time. E valeu!